Good evening. This is Arthur Rogers featuring Christopher Hill, Kamari Tomlin, and we are Group 1, and we are speaking about Chapter 4 Hardware for Educators. The date is 7/19/2023, and our professor is Miss Sophia King. All right, let's get into this PowerPoint. A system unit. The pages in your textbook is page 154. A system unit, it is a box-like case that houses the electronic components. A system unit is a critical electrical component that is protected. A system unit is where all the magic happens in just one computer. Images of a system unit, which also is on your textbook page 154. System units are placed in various display cases. As you can see right there on your right, that is a system unit, one of the newer high-tech system units. For example, of a system unit, you have gaming consoles, smartwatches, tablets, and laptops. Some of these system units are component examples, such as power supply, the motherboard, which is the brain system, or brain center, and memory, which is stored inside the system. Bit. Now, bit can be described and how they are used to represent data, which is in your textbook pages 155. Bits are grouped together to form bytes. Coding is used to translate commands into actions. A series of zeros and ones are used. Without this coding, humans could not interact digitally. Bits and bytes. Above is an example of you pressing the number 2 on your keyboard. This image is also in your textbook on page 155. When 2 is pressed, a coding command is applied to the system, where it reads the bytes forming the number 2 into the system. Major components of a system unit function. Now, as you see, there's 2 different types of pictures in here, if you did not know this. You have the one on the left behind the words. You have a system unit with its label as an old picture. On your right, that system unit is the newer version that you will find in most computers today. The major components in the system units are motherboards, CPUs, the control unit, and arithmetic logic unit. Some more system unit components. You have memory. Memory decides to store data and information into the system unit, which can be held for a number amount of years. System clock synchronizes or controls the computer operations, which is why you always going to see the time on the computers. Random access memory. This use memories while the computer is on. So it save your memories while you get up and leave your computer while it's running. And last, you have flash memory. Flash memories can be erased electronically and rewritten electronically in a system unit. CPU functionality, and it uses 4 steps for a machine cycle to process data, which a lot of people do not know about. The first step you have will be fetching. Fetching, it gathers the information from the machine. You have to get the instructions first. Then, when you get done gathering the instructions, you will go down to decoding. And decoding interprets the instructions, basically following the instructions. The rest of the steps of the CPU functionality, you have executing. Now, executing carry out the demands from fetching and the decoding, because in order to execute, you have to get the fetching and the decoding first. Lastly, when you have the fetching, decoding, and executing, it will lead you into storing, which storing, archiving information for later recall or references to the computer. Input. What is an input? You can also find more information about what is an input on page 64 in your textbook. Inputs can be described as data, programs, commands, and also user responses. An input is mostly inside of a computer. Those are the most input type of things, and that is what it is described as. Types of inputs and various inputs and pointing devices. Most of the inputs that you will find here will be on pages 164 to 172. within the pages of your textbook. The types of inputs in a computer is keyboards, which can include wireless, cordless, Bluetooth. You have a mouse, which also include wireless, cordless, and Bluetooth. Both of these inputs and pointing devices both allow you to execute the system commands. Basically, you controlling the system. You are the one that is controlling the computer, following the instructions. Outputs. You can find images and more information about outputs in your textbook on page 173. What is an output device? An output device can be described as numerous things, especially if your computer have a lot of different components in it. And for the computers, normally the output is described as text, graphics, audio, and video. Those are the different various types of outputs in a device. There is also more types of outputs that can go inside of computers, system units, anything. Printers. Now, printers including non-impact printers, inkjet printers, laser printers, and photo printers. Those are the different types of printers that have outputs in the system. Now you have data projectors, which will include LCD and DLP projectors. The rest out of outputs that you could use in your computer are headphones and earbuds, and sometimes a speaker. Storage. Now, most of you know what a storage should be, where you hold things inside a place, so far as information or things, just like a storage unit. But instead, this storage unit is inside of a computer. So, what is storage? A storage is a way that data, information, and instructions are stored on a device. In order to understand storage, you must understand how a computer uses memory. And you must learn how to save and delete on computers in order to know what a storage is in a computer or a system unit. Difference between memories and a storage. Memories refers to the location that data will be stored, short time. So basically, if I decide I want to have my computer to memorize this PowerPoint, I would keep it there, leave it on, because that is the memory that I have on this computer. Storage. While storage allows you to store and access the data on a long-term basis. Now, the difference between the storage is I want to start a PowerPoint. If I decide I want to exit this PowerPoint, I will save it into my storage on my computer. So whenever I decide to exit out of my PowerPoint and I want to come back into it months later or a couple days later, I can go into my storage and still access and still resume where I was at on the PowerPoint for my storage. And that is what a lot of people do not know about computers, or they just now finding out. But I'm pretty sure like everybody will get it someday. Types of storage and memory media. Now, storage devices can be classified into two categories. Now you have external storage devices and you also have internal storage devices. Now, external storage devices are connected to the computer via and external port. Those are used such as USB cords or Thunderbolt ports. Internal storage devices are located into and within the computer or system units, such as hard drive, solid state drives, or flash memories. Now, if you don't know, external is for outside of the computer, while internal is inside of the computer, if you didn't know. CDs and DVDs and BDs are additional storage units for computers and system units. Differentiate between CDs, DVDs, and BDs. Now, CDs and DVDs are most commonly used for storage. They are flat, round, portable plastic discs within a protective metal coat. They include music, movies, and photos, and also software programs that's stored most often. If you care more enough about DVDs and CDs, they can last up to more than 100 years if you are able to take care of these CDs and DVDs. Differentiate between it still. Now, we are talking about BDs, which is a short name for Blu-ray disc. Now, what are a Blu-ray disc? A Blu-ray disc are newer and more expensive DVD format tools. It has a higher capacity and also it has better quality than most CDs and DVDs. BDs, which is Blu-ray disc, also has storage capacity of 100 gigabytes, which most DVDs do not have in this generation. Here are my references. These are the three from the first 10 slides. If you have any questions. And this reference, this is for the last 10 slides. If you also have any questions for this particular PowerPoint. That is the end of my presentation. This is Arthur Rogers speaking to you. The people that made this PowerPoint, we made it together: Arthur Rogers, Christopher Hill, and Kamari Tomlinson. And I thank you for watching and participating in this video. Thank you, and have a blessed day.